We've been thinking about just how enormous Jesus' love is, and I tried to illustrate that a little bit by measuring the oak tree. I'm sat on the other side of it now so you can see more down to its roots. So we're going to make today, to help us to remember how big Jesus' love is, a tape measure, one a little bit like this that goes in and you can measure, and then it goes out and then it goes back in again. So for this you need a toilet roll, and you need some white paper or plain paper of some sort. Onto the paper you need to draw some lines. I've just used a ruler to go a ruler's width to make them into strips, and then you cut the strips like this. You need, well, as many as you want your tape measure to be long, really. And then what you're going to do is take 2 strips of paper and some sellotape, and you're going to sellotape them together as straightly as you can. I've got a little gap there because I'm doing it outside and it's a bit tricky, but you can do it leaning on a table and it's a lot easier. And keep going like that, adding more and more strips on until you think that your tape measure is as long as you would like it to be. And then of course what you need to do is write some numbers on it. Now, if you want to be really accurate, you can use a ruler and measure out the exact measurements, like 1 centimetre, 2 centimetre, but you don't need to do it like that. And if you're not very good at writing numbers yet, that's absolutely fine. You can just do your very best. It doesn't matter, we're not measuring anything accurately with this. So you get the idea, you start and you keep going until you've filled all your strip up. Now, then what you need to do is get something like a wooden dowel or a pencil or a stick, and you're going to take your strip once all the numbers are on it, and you're going to stick your pencil onto the end of the highest number. So not where you've started with your number 1, but at the other end, and you're just going to use a bit of sellotape to sellotape on your strip of paper onto your pencil like that. And then you're going to roll up your strip. You can start to see what we're doing now, can't you? We're making one of those tape measures that you can pull out and pull back in again. So there you've got it like that. Now, with the toilet roll, you want to get a grown-up to help you with this because it's a bit tricky. You want to cut a slit in it that's just a little bit wider than the width of your paper, so that your paper can fit in it like that. So it's quite tricky to do that because you've got to push through and they're quite hard, so you want to get a grown-up to help you with that. And then taking your wound up tape measure on the pencil, you're going to put that inside the toilet roll. And this is a little bit tricky. You want to get the end of the paper, the bit that says number 1 on it, and you want to poke it out through the slit, okay? Now, if we leave it just like that, it'll disappear back in the side again, and it's really frustrating because you have to keep refiddling it. So you want to get just a piece of card or something a little bit thicker and cut it slightly wider than your strip, and you're going to fold it over in half like that, and you're going to stick it with some sellotape over the end of your paper, and then that way it stops it being able to go back in again. So can you see, if I now tighten up my tape measure, make it really tight, can you see it can't go back in? But then when you've done it, you can pull the tape measure out as long as you want it, and then when you've measured your something, you wind it back up and put it back in again. Now of course you can decorate it. I've coloured this bit in green here, and I've written some words on. So I've written, Jesus' love goes on forever and ever and ever. And I've also put those 4 words that Paul used, wide, high, long and deep, to describe Jesus' love for us. So then, every time you want to measure something, you can keep pulling your tape measure out as far as you can for as long as you chose to make it. Mine's quite long. And then, when you've finished measuring and thinking about how big God is, you just twist your pencil or your dowel, whatever you used, back up, and it should all go back in. It takes a little bit longer than one of the automatic ones. But I hope you have fun. You can do lots and lots of measuring and lots of thinking about how big and enormous Jesus' love is for us.